Go for the burn. 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 Go for the burn.
He can't find it. Oh, Air 2 going on the outside. It is easy to wreck when you go for that. It's a time for racing. G-Force tries to find it. Whoa!
The wall ride. What will they do? Nick, 4 on the inside.
And once again, Singh managed to put on a challenge, and Fam wins the championship.
What is up, everybody? Welcome to the Revel Endurance Championship Season 5. We're here at Week 8. We got 3 weeks left, including tonight's match. We're going to have Week 8, Week 9, Week 10, and that's it. So racers need to be strapping in, finishing up strong, because chances to earn those points are going to be running out. It's your boy Honk, and tonight I am being joined by, again, the one and only Pokers. How you doing, Pokers?
Hello everyone, welcome in for the 7th race of the RVEC Season 5. On a perfect track for that.
Indeed, yes, we are taking it to the hospital. Now, I remember we talked a little bit about hospital last week. But for anyone who missed it, I thought that you did a great job of explaining what hospital is all about. If you want to do that again, Pokers, or I can, kind of recreate that. But I thought you had some really good points on hospital.
I said that it was pretty much a stock track, very smooth race lines, multiple pathway, but only one is optimized. A little shortcut, not as tragic as the Museum 2-1, but a bit difficult.
Right.
And kinda flat map. Only one drop, and that's it.
Yeah, great overview there. And we will be headed into the track preview soon enough, where you'll be able to see that for yourself. For now, you're looking at our previous tracks. We had Museum 2, Port Lamano 2, Game Room 2, Spa Vault 2, Venice, Downtown 1, Spa Vault 1. Now we're here at Hospital 1. We got Santorini and White Rose Chapel after this week, but let's focus on this week. Like you said, there is a cut. It's a little bit of a blind turn as well in the cut, so you have to be prepared for it before you start taking the cut. Otherwise, a very level track, like you said, not a lot of room for, random BS. But let's see, we've got players getting into the lobby pretty quick. I'm gonna go ahead and start playing that track preview for y'all, so graciously provided by Pokers. Thank you very much. Okay, so straight away into Hospital 1, you do get those vibes, exactly what Pokers was talking about how it is a very stock-like track, considering it is a custom track. Up ahead is going to be the cut. There it is. Not exactly a fully blind turn. You do have time to kind of at least get your eye on that turn. Open your eyes and go for that turn. Now we see the fountain area as well. Pretty straightforward, but before we get into the fountain, can also be a very tricky spot. Now we didn't really get to cover everything, so we'll be doing it again here as he begins lap 2, but has to head through the gift room first. You can't cut through those two kind of display cases, or you can take it on the outside like our VOD does. You can see they go for the wall bang as well. Anything that I missed, Pokers, as we watch this overview? Anything that
the drop section can be very tricky to do, because if you take 2 on the outside, you can tap the wall at the end, just right there. And if you do that, you may slow down to take a sharper turn that you slow down. So kind of tricky to do at full speed.
Definitely.
So no, I think the U-turn is pretty smooth enough. No bumpy section, that's can be nice. Some slippery section, not very slippery, but some switch surfaces,
Right.
and that's pretty it.
We do have at least that one spot around the fountain where I don't know, is it completely guaranteed that the left side is better, or will we possibly see people taking the right side as well in that fountain?
I never saw anyone going on the right side and
Okay.
just gaining time, so it might be not the case. It seems that the right side is just longer than the left side.
Right, right. Okay, well that settles that track preview for y'all. In the meantime, in our server, we've got Frostbitten, Famous, Kiki, Nick, Powerade, Kilobaris, Makakowski, G-Force, and Laggy Rock. So still waiting for a couple more. That's going to be about 9 racers. I think we've got 3 more signed up, with possibly some random people showing up, but likely going to wait for at least 3 more here. In the meantime, we've got Pokers.
Yeah, I was gonna say Makakowski with a special title this week. With the
In-
driver of the day title. With
Yes,
the astonishing performance last week.
you're absolutely right, Pokers. What a special moment for Makakowski. It was a moment of highs and lows for many people there at Spa Vault 1. Makakowski beating me to the jump a little bit. We're now talking about the last race coverage. And as you can see, Stingox won that race. It was the first win for Stingox so far at the RVEC 5, but it was a little bit bittersweet because he ripped that first place out of the hands of G-Force. G-Force has been showing up to every single RVEC since its inception, and he has not gotten a win yet as far as I know, despite being such a dangerous driver. Pickups on, pickups off, endurance, other forms of driving. This guy will come for you no matter what. In fact, he even specializes at non-Toyota cars compared to a lot of the field, I would say. And he still is able to bring that finesse with the Toyota as well. Unfortunately, he did fall short there in the final lap. Stingox taking first, as well as the best lap, Makakowski in third. Makakowski's first ever medal at an RVEC event, and with such a stacked field, it is a surprising situation for him. He stepped up his game in a huge way, even taking out Kilobaris, who has been on a roll. And without further ado, we will show the driver of the day was indeed Makakowski. Congratulations, buddy. Wouldn't it be funny if I showed a different name, just threw everybody out? No. It is Makakowski. But we've also got Kilobaris out in fourth, Famous fifth. So uncharacteristic performance for both of them. And Frost 6, Powerade 7th, Laggy Rock 8, and so on. Speaking of uncharacteristic performances, let's go ahead and check out our overall standings now that we got that out of the way. I am getting word that we're just waiting on Ertzu at this point, it looks like. Hopefully he'll be in here soon. But as you can see, Famous is still in first. He's still... How does he keep getting away with it? He can't keep getting away with it. He likely will. That being said, look at the total points scores. A very few points separating not just first and second, but also first and third. Famous, who is a seasoned veteran here at the RVEC, is likely going to be a lot of people's projected winner at RVC, EVC in general, has been getting challenged very hard by Stingox, which is expected. Stingox has been racking up silvers, not just in this RVEC, but also previous RVCs. Definitely our most second place finishing racer. Finally able to lock in that first, which, by the way, he was the first to get first place and best lap as well. But in addition to that, we have Kilobaris, who has massively stepped up his game since the previous RVEC, going from around middle of the pack, shooting straight up into second place, just a few points behind Famous himself. With 3 first places to his name, he's got a tied amount of first places with Famous. Absolutely astronomically surprising performance by Kilobaris. I think he has been one of those dark horses that you start to see it and you're like, this guy could just be a favorite. So, all 3 of them are very tightly matched. We've also got a fight for 4th place between Kiki, Nick, and G-Force. And then a fight for 8th place between Powerade, Makakasi, and Lampert. So interesting to see that even with Makakowski getting that dub, or not dub, but 3rd place, he's still behind Powerade points-wise. Now you will see Makakowski had a 0 on Venice. He didn't show up to Venice, and that brings up my next talking point before we head into this qualifier. The worst 3 races for the RVEC will be removed. At the end of the 10 weeks, we will be taking away the driver's worst 3 races, which means a lot of these zeros will be gone for these top racers. For example, Kiki had a 0 on Spa Vault 2. That'll be gone. Stingox had a finish of 5 points on Venice, where he stole the best lap time out of the hands of Famous. That race will be removed. So that's something very important to keep in mind, is that the positions still have a lot of room to change, even if there's a lot of points between these racers. Another reason why it's very possible that these positions could very dramatically change, even with 20-30 point gaps, is that we're using the MotoGP point scoring system. That means first place gets 25, second place gets 20, third place gets 16, so on and so forth. You can see massive amounts of points up on the board if someone is able to snatch first. Even if Famous were to come in second, for example, that's a 5-point differential, which is huge. In the meantime, we've got some chatters with us, of course. Welcome in Kippy and Nick, but also welcome in Makakowski, Nano, Esteban, Bloberov, and of course, Pokers, joining me in the text chat and in the voice chat. We've also got Skelet Cast Kit. Good to have you in here, buddy. Thank you for that sub, Kippy. So I'm getting word that Ertzu's on the final track, and then he'll be headed in. Might as well cover some more ground bases here while we're waiting for that connection to happen. We are headed into the qualifier. In the qualifier, we are going to be judging not based on finishing in the race, but based on best lap. Each of these racers have to finish within a certain time limit. They've got 10 laps to finish up, but they'll be judged based on their best lap. Whoever gets the best of the best will be starting the race in first. Whoever has the worst best lap time will be starting in last. And I believe that we've got 12 or 13 racers here today.
Looks like we're gonna have 14 races
Ooh,
with Erzu joining soon.
excellent.
Oh, I just don't count. We're gonna be 12.
Okay, yeah, you kind of, yeah.
we're gonna be 12.
It happens. Okay, let me go ahead and get our picture-in-picture set up here. Looking good so far. We've got Kiki in the chat.
Yeah, something I wanted to say about the overall standings, that we have three-way fights, if I'm clear enough. We got Kilobarus, Stingox, and Famous in the 1, 2, 3 positions. We got Chi, I can't remember, was, yeah, thank you, Kiki, Nick, and G for 4, 5, and 6, with barely 7 points difference between the three of them. And Frost, Poet, and Makakowski with barely 4 points differences between the three of them. So three-way fights. It's gonna be very interesting, this map. It's gonna be fully fights between all of these. It's gonna be very interesting to see.
You're absolutely right. That's going to be something to keep track of. It's also important to note that, you know, there is time for comebacks. We will see these positions potentially dramatically change as we inch closer, because after this week, racers will be starting to drop their worst races. So, for example, we are getting ready. I'll save that thought for later. But let's head straight into our race here. This is just the qualifier. They're trying to set their best lap time. I'm going to pull up our live standings tool provided by Duck, who will forever live in infamy in the Revolt community. Hopefully gonna see them coming back. But in the meantime, they have provided us with this beautiful piece of software. Okay, and there it is. We are going to be able to see those best laps being started as drivers finish up their race. Again, the distance between the drivers is irrelevant. Just be focused on that bottom left part, but I'll keep you all up to date on all of that. And it does look like as our racers finish up their first lap, it is going to be Sting, Kilobaris, Kiki, G-Force, and Shigeki X with the top 5. I remember what I was going to say. First of all, welcome in Solo Bere. Welcome in Top. And also, y'all have just a couple more minutes left to get your channel points predictions in. Vote on who you think is going to win this race. Hospital 1, not the qualifier, but the overall race. In the meantime, as racers finish up their second lap, it is still Sting in the lead. Sting, Frost, G-Force, Kilobaris, and Kiki. G-Force unfortunately looked like he had to bail out of that lap. We'll watch from his perspective for lap 4 as Frost finishes up his lap 3. Kippy asks what our predictions are. Pokers, you're free to give a prediction, but I'm certainly not going to be blamed for any more caster curses than I already presently am blamed for. G-Force has to go.
To cast a blast some of these?
Hey, if you want to, go for it. If you want to give a prediction, you absolutely can. Let me know.
I will go with Sting, G-Force, and Kilobaris. If I had to pick 3.
Okay, the 3 first.
Just because the track is pretty flat and these races have kind of the consistency required for that. So I don't know, maybe. I have the script, so we'll see.
That is actually such good analysis. This is going to be one of those races where the time trialers will thrive a little bit more. It's a little bit harder to wreck here, a lot harder, as we see G-Force wreck. It's going it's gonna be
it was instant. Okay.
We're gonna see a lot less accidents happening here than somewhere like Spa Vault 1. Stingox proceeds to wreck. Okay, we are going to be seeing a lot more wrecks here than somewhere like Spa Vault 1. Just kidding, the opposite of that. But you're absolutely right. That will lend itself better to racers that consecutively or consistently have that pace advantage. People like Nick. We've seen Stingox with a lot of best lap times, etc., etc. Famous has not gotten any best lap times yet. All the times that he's gotten first, at least the times he's gotten first, he's not been setting best laps. Will that come into factor here today? We'll have to wait and see. In the meantime, we currently have Stingox in the lead as far as best laps go. Kilobaris in second, Famous third, Frostbitten fourth, Kiki fifth. A classic list of names on the RVEC roster as far as starting positions. Kilobaris will be setting a new best lap for himself. It is 1 millisecond. 1 millisecond off the best lap time that is currently being held by Sting. And Sting sets a new best lap for himself. He's going to turn that 1 millisecond into a lot of milliseconds. Less than 100 milliseconds, but more than 50.
That's 72, something like
Set
that.
quick maths here.
I
So
might be wrong though. So.
we're gonna watch this this attempt by Kilobaris finish out, and we've got 2 laps left. So I'm gonna choose someone else to spectate. Kilobaris not able to get a new best lap there. Watching Sting, not able to get a new best lap for himself. I'm gonna tune into Famous here on lap 9, and Famous is gonna wreck. He's only gonna have lap 10 to give it a try. A little bit of improper execution, or unless it's just a little bit of connection delay, which is possible. G-Force connecting from Brazil. Have to wait and see once this lap gets a little bit closer. 32, 33, 34, 35. I don't think it's quite enough. Not going to be setting a new best lap there. We've got Makakowski with just over 37. And he is not going to be saying a new best. I'm going to tune into Sting, who is finishing off the second half of his last lap. Going to see if he can set a new best lap for himself. That is certainly not going to be one for him. Kiki with over a 37. Famous not going to be able to do it. G-Force trying to finish up. That's not going to be a new best lap for him. It's not going to... Maybe for Makakowski here. 36. He did. 36.918. Power 8. Tough lap for him here. And we do have another tie between Frostbitten and Kiki. It is Sting in first, Kilobaris in second. Neither one of them setting new best lap times for themselves in the remainder of that. Famous in third, Frost, Kiki, not sure who's fourth, fifth there. And 6 is going to be Makakowski. We'll get the full qualifications results for y'all in a little bit, but for now, that is going to be the end of the qualifiers. So, let's actually go back to our previous race. We look at that consistency again. I think we actually had Makakowski winning the I believe the numbers are a little bit small for me, but I think he actually was the most consistent racer last time.
It was RVEC with the only one that's 97 consistency.
Okay, there we go. Those are 96s. Okay. But like we said, consistency is going to be a bit more of a given here at Hospital 1 than it was for Spa Vault 1. So we'll see how much that factors in. Laggy Rock is going to have the short end of the stick on a track like this, as he is a consistency-driven driver. Okay, I think the VOD should be getting uploaded right now already. It should be going in tandem. If it's not, I'm checking into it right now, y'all.
It's actually is, yes.
Excellent. I'm getting an ad on my own channel. Very cool. I'm currently going through the VOD here. Can I get the final lap time that y'all set?
It was 36.841.
Okay, 36.841 was set.
If I won,
It
I
was
think
it was set by Frostbitten before Kiki. I've currently got a screen grab right here. Lap 3 of 10. We've got Frostbitten, I believe, on lap 2, set that best lap for himself. I'll go ahead and send it in.
Kiki was had not set the best lap before lap 2. Kiki set this lap on the lap 6.
Huge shout out to G-Force in the chat. Much love, buddy. Okay, so we've had a little bit of break in our race, but we should be getting up the qualifier info as well as heading into our match shortly. So hang tight, y'all. In the meantime, we see Famous with 3 first places and 2 third places. Kilobaris with 3 first places and 1 third place. If you were to get rid of their lowest 3 scores, I think they would be tied still. No, it actually would be Famous leading. No, I'm wrong again. I think it's still a tie.
Yeah, it's still a tie.
Yeah.
They're perfectly tied. No best lap. I remember correctly. No best lap. Three first places, 1 third place each.
And for Stingox, we've got 1, 2, 3 second places, a first place, and a third place, as well as some best laps sprinkled in there.
I did the math last time. I think the Stingox was like 4 points away with the 3 worst races removed.
Okay.
Yeah, Stingox has 87 and both Famous and Kilobaris have 91.
All right, so I think we are going to just be headed straight into it. Nano Rules 49 asking when should they start? Great question. The grid is being posted right now, the starting grid, and then we will be getting into our race. 72 laps of Hospital 1. If you got something that you have to do, I was going to say do it now, but honestly, the very start is so intense. You might be able to, we always have a little bit of a lull in the action at some point, but I would not want to miss this beginning sequence here on Hospital 1. Once those racers get to the shortcut especially, I'm going to need precision or else they face losing some positions, maybe even getting wrecked by another driver, etc.
Yeah, don't forget to stay hydrated this time. And also, I want to make a quick shout out before the start race to the stairman. He's gonna recognize himself.
Excellent, excellent. So, Nano Rules, I knew the name was familiar. Welcome in, Islam. Good to see you, buddy. So our start.
Just said stay hydrated.
Yes, indeed. Our starting grid is going to be Stingox, Kilobaris, Famous, Frost, Kiki, Makakowski, G-Force, Powerade, Ertsu, Nick, Shigeki X, Ama, and Laggy Rock. And I am being given the ready. Go coming out in right now. And our drivers are off. It'll be Stingox out in the lead with that best lap. Watching from the second place position as we head into the shortcut. Kilobar's overcorrecting a little bit. Frost tipping the rear a little bit as well. And Famous rather. And he falls behind Frost. Famous loses another position early on. And we do sometimes see Famous struggling a bit at the beginning. He takes another position back from Frost, aiming for Kiki. They take it on the outside. Okay, these drivers are neck and neck. Shortcut. Kiki gets around Keela. Famous gets around Kilobaris as well. And Sting has broken away from the pack. 18-meter advantage here early on. Sting has been unchallenged so far. We've seen a little bit of instability at some various places on these drivers. Had passes back and forth. Also some blocking on drivers trying to pass. And so Stingox has just been able to make small incremental advantages throughout this race so far. And look at the shortcut setup. Kilobaris is going to wreck out. Famous wrecks. G-Force almost spins out. This is early on in our race, and Kilobaris has not been able to find a comfort in that shortcut area, often looking like he's overcorrecting or about to even spin out. He does run into the the doctor's chair there. And it is going to be Stingox, Kiki, Frostbitten, Makakowski, G-Force, Powerade, and Famous in 7th. Currently in the picture-in-picture, you can see from Nick's perspective, he's trying to hunt down a number of racers. Difficult to find the pass through there. You can see Famous bumping on the rear, and was that Makakowski? I'm not sure.
It was.
Okay.
Yeah, it was.
And Kilobaris is all the way back in 11th. What happened there? Did you see it, Pokers?
I think he crashed into the doctor's chair in the shortcut.
He lost that many positions off that.
Yeah,
wow.
It was a huge crash, yeah.
And Nick also, I think, kind of maybe recovering, but regardless, moving back towards the front a little bit. We got G-Force, Famous, Powerade, 4th, 5th, 6th. They make it through pretty cool. Oh, getting a little ahead of myself. Famous wrecking on the second part of all parts to wreck on. He actually recovers from it pretty decently. Bailed out by Powerade, who takes the brunt of the damage. Powerade falls all the way back down into 11th. from one mistake that wasn't even really caused by him. I know he's not going to be happy with that one, but Powerade is great at mentally recovering in races. Makakowski has moved on up into 6th place, and we're going to move forward a little bit here in the positions because we've got Sting versus Kiki for first, second. Kiki has done a great job recovering, and Sting's lead, his early lead, has mostly evaporated. That being said, Kiki 25 meters ahead of Frost, so they've still got an advantage over the rest of the field, but it's not good for Sting to have Kiki this close. Kiki is a very fast racer. Kiki has had a couple second places so far. Basically, when Sting doesn't get second, Kiki does, and Kiki is very good at setting best laps as well, expecting to be very strong on pace. Sting as well, though. That being said, you see Kiki gaining. They head into the, oh my, Sting almost wrecking out. Kiki almost going on the jump, but he recovers outside on the drop down turn. Sting tries to take first place back, but he won't be able to against Kiki. He holds on to it. It's looking like a clean pass, and we've got a new first place on our hands, in the hands of Kiki. Kiki does have the best lap overall in our race so far. Sting, nowhere on the board as far as best laps go. I'm going to watch the shortcut as well as the drop down, and then we're going to tune into some other racers. Shortcut's clean. Drop down. Nice by Sting, getting that inside angle, going a little bit too hard on the inside, and he kind of goes 2 wheels up, 2 wheels down, loses about 10 meters off of Kiki, and that is a very much a clean breakaway from Kiki. We've got Frost about equidistant from him, about 15 meters away. G-Force in 4th, about 10 meters from him. Famous in 5th. Makakowski 6th. Kilobaris has moved all the way up into 7th. Shortcut up ahead. I'm not sure if that was a wreck out of Makakowski, but they're going to be 25 meters between 4th and 5th. We got Famous still challenging hard. And in the meantime, picture in picture, we got our race leader Kiki and Sting 2nd place. They're about 15 meters away from each other. They continue on to be neck and neck. Kiki with a minor advantage. Famous going to be aiming for the pass here. He's got a lot of pace advantage on Makakowski. Makakowski a little bit too hard of a break as they head into the shortcut, but he recovers. A clean drop down turn. Famous is still going to have to fight back. Kilobaris 15 meters away. He's got Nick right behind him as well. In the meantime, in 10th place, we got Laggy Rock versus Shigeki X versus Powerade. That wreck compounding all the way to 11th place. We're going to see how he can recover. Airtsu 12th, Ama 13th, and we're back. Giving you all a little bit of a head-to-head right now. Kiki versus Sting as they do the shortcut into the drop-down. Looking clean out Kiki, looking clean out Sting as well. Moving back a little bit, Frostbitten, G-Force will hang out here for just a little bit, just to kind of chill out for a moment. The race is very much still underway. Picture in picture showing 1st, 2nd, main screen 3rd, 4th. They head through the shortcut. It looks like I'm not sure. I didn't catch what happened with Sting. Did anything happen with Sting?
No, I don't think so. I didn't see anything.
Wow. Well, Frost and G-Force are gunning it through. Frost is basically right up in here on both Sting and Kiki. They have not broken away. Frost is usually that guy who we see performing so strongly in RVC. RVC 5 so far has not been the case. We've been wondering, when is Frost going to get his 1st place? It started to be like, maybe he'll get it on White Rose Chapel, maybe his favorite track, but he's looking very strong here in the early laps of Hospital 1. They've still got a lot of laps left to run through, 72 in total before this race finishes. G-Force staying right in there with the competition. He got a really heartbreaking second place, ripped out of his hands at first place by Sting. He has fully mentally recovered here, trying to bounce back into a first place. In the meantime, okay, we got Famous 5th, Nick 6th, Makikoski right behind in 7th. We're going to stay locked in our first, second, and our third, fourth battles for now. Sting and Frost both set new best laps for themselves on that lap 14. Kiki, no longer the holder of best lap. Makikoski and Nick have both bested Kiki as far as best lap goes. They head through the gift shop. They're still looking completely fine. Just locked in here. I will say Sting and Kiki have managed to recover quite well. It's looking like Frost was going to pass Sting there in just a moment, but it has straightened back out. Sting in the meantime approaching Kiki. Look at that. In that picture, oh my goodness. I'm going to show Kiki's perspective here. Kiki, it's Sting on the inside. Kiki's got the outside. Oh my goodness. Kiki almost getting crowded out. He starts driving crazy. Stingox does seem to break a little bit just to not get caught up in that kamikaze moment. They headed to lap 17. Got the shortcut coming up shortly. Looking good from both drivers. G-Force and Sting still right there up in Sting. G-Force and Frost still right up there in Kiki and Sting's business. Okay, now this is kind of the area where it's been looking like Sting is able to get a minor advantage. Into the shortcut. Drop down turn. Excellently done by Sting. You can see he's further on the inside there. The wallbang turn. Through the gift shop. G-Force and Frostbitten in the picture-in-picture. Famous has moved up into 5th. I think he was already... No, he's been holding 5th. He hasn't quite been able to close the gap on them. Nick has passed up Makikoski. Actually, I think that was the same too, but they're neck and neck in the meantime. Shortcut coming out cleanly. Drop down turn. So little of a difference between our two drivers. I believe on the picture-in-picture we got a glimpse of Makikoski passing up Nick into 6th place. Kilobaris has been doing the best that he can to recover. In the meantime, Kiki with a large wallbang out in 1st place. This could be a window of opportunity for Sting. Looking good through the shortcut. Losing a little bit of speed, I think, in that drop-down turn. Continues to be 10 to 8 meters between the two of them. Welcome in, Steescamp. Okay, so as we look back, not just at Kiki and Sting, but also at Frost and G-Force, you can see they're right there behind. Frost has not been able to really scrap together a good distance gain on that 2nd place. In the meantime, G-Force is right up on him, applying a lot of pressure. Famous has not been able to catch them. Famous is now 40 meters behind. Look at our battle for I believe 6th, 7th, 8th. We've got Nick Makakowski and Kilabaris as now in the picture-in-picture as they head through the gift store. Kiki and Sting, shortcut. Drop down turn. The wreck. I think that in the meantime, the picture-in-picture, the wreck out of Nick Makakowski, not able to stabilize himself. Kilabar is going to be moving very cleanly into 6th place, and he's got the current best lap in our race. He's got great pace, finding a clean overtake on 2 drivers back to back, and he is now going to be trying to challenge Famous if he can keep this speed up. Kiki and Sting continue to go blow for blow here through the shortcut, through the drop down. Previously, we were talking about how it was about 8 to 10 meters. It looks like Sting has closed that gap just a couple of meters. We've got Frost and G in the bottom right as well. They are right behind this group of Kiki and Sting. One of those situations where you just keep expecting something to happen. I know there's a lot of chaos happening a bit further mid to lower field. But you just know there's going to be a breaking point here soon. And we want to know exactly how it's going to turn out. Look at Sting on the inside from that drop down turn, getting a massive advantage over Kiki. 1 meter away, 2 meters away is Sting from taking back first place. Kiki was not the original first place leader. We are already 25 laps into Hospital 1. We are over 1/3 of the way done with this race. And so much of it has been spent watching Kiki and Sting, as well as G and Frost. Neither one of them have been budging an inch. It's looked so scary. G-Force, I will say, has moved a little bit further. Whoa! Sting with a momentary drop in speed as he skids a little bit from that drop-down turn. And look at Kiki already blasting back into 10 meters away from Sting. Excellently done by Kiki. It's a game of centimeters here. Much less meters, much less mistakes. We had 2 mistakes early on. Famous and Kilabaris, they paid their price for it. We had a wreck out of Nick as well. He was able to recover with only 2 positions lost, but that race has mostly fallen away as Makakowski is starting to feel a lot more safety in that 7th place position. Kilabaris just found the pass on Famous. It's already happened. Gonna go ahead and flip forward, keep our focus on the front 2 as well as the 3rd and 4th. Welcome in, Rod. Shortcut. Look at how close G-Force keeps managing to get. He keeps getting so close, but Sting has been doing the same. Sting has been getting close and close to Kiki, but Kiki is absolutely murdering the consistency game here on one of those easier to pass without wrecking tracks as compared to something like Spa Vault 1, and he is absolutely flourishing here. Has been holding on to first place for many laps. Kilabaris versus Famous in the meantime, forcing my attention away from Frost and G as they are neck and neck. Famous wants to take back. They both have to skip the shortcut, but Famous goes for it anyways. Wrecks out 30 meters behind Kilabaris at this point. Wow. And with that, Kilabaris is going to be moving further away from 1st, 2nd, 3rd, and 4th distance-wise, but is going to be gaining a position on what the one and only Famous. They head for the shortcut again, and G-Force wrecks out on nothing. He just has a momentary lapse of judgment. He's now going to all of that distance, those meter after meter, half a meter after half a meter that he has been working up to. He now drops to 30 meters away, and that has got to be a crushing blow to his psyche here. We'll see if he's able to hold strong to it. But for now, it's a race for the podium. First, second, third in a row. Kiki, Sting, Frost duking it out. Further backfield, it looks like we got Shigeki X versus Ertsu going on as well in the picture-in-picture. Kippy weighing in saying they both deal with the lag. That's what happened, IMO. Yes, but the difference is Keela Bars, it looked like Keela Bars was just aiming for, he was like, you know what? I'm just going to go for the no shortcut here. It's too risky to try to go head to head with Famous here in the shortcut. But he didn't want to back down on the speed either. And Famous had no option but to fall in line. And when he didn't, he runs into the wall. Now, the racers themselves can come back and weigh in on that. I think you got a great analysis as well, Kippy, but that was just my interpretation of it. We've got 15 meters between Sting and Frost. Frost falling back a little bit. We were wondering, is he going to find his first place here? He hasn't gotten a first place yet in RVEC 5. It's certainly been surprising. We've been wondering, is this week the week? It certainly still could be. But Kiki and Stingox looking pretty damn convincing in their own right. Now I'm very hesitantly going to flip back for a sec because we got Shigeki X versus Nick happening right now. I want to be able to show a wide range of the field. Nick not able to find the consistency through that shortcut. He will be wrecking. Laggy Rock is not too stranded here. He is down in the positions for sure. A track where the drivers will typically be consistent is not a favorable track for Laggy Rock. But he is still managing to find some gains here and there. Sting wrecking on the drop down turn. That's the exact moment that Pokers was preparing us for during the pre-show. G-Force almost wrecking out as well on the ramp, but Stingox takes it back. Check this man's car. Check this man's RC car. This is not naturally, and we've got Frostbitten capitalizing off of it. But he's so far behind Kiki at this point. I think we might have missed a little bit of the story there as well.
Go for the burn. Go for the burn.
And I don't know how Stingox was able to recover so well from there. Stingox bouncing off of the door, trying to take it too narrowly, runs into the grass, but doesn't roll over, doesn't spin out, is able to just continue down that pathway, and eventually takes over G-Force. G-Force got to be careful here. Kilobar is still with the best lap in our race. He's only 50 meters behind fourth place. Certainly still doable for him. I'm going to put the spotlight on Kiki for a moment here because we have not been able to see anything out of Kiki really from his perspective. It's all been from his attacker's perspective. So let's give Kiki a little bit of time to shine. He's been so consistent throughout this race. Going to be finishing up lap 35. Watch his execution through the shortcut. Slowing down a bit. A little bit wide on the exit as well. But the most important part is, of course, that he keeps it solid. But maybe gonna need some tighter execution through there. Hard to challenge Kiki because he's been looking so magnificent here. So anything that I could weigh in with feels like it's just a misanalysis. But regardless, that would be my analysis that nobody asked for. We've got Sting versus G-Force, third, fourth. They both set new laps for themselves. So Sting absolutely trying to get into the second place position that he was previously in. And I'm starting to think back now. I was like, what happened to Frostbitten's gap on Kiki? Well, that gap is new. He moved into second place on the back of an accident out of Sting. So important to keep that perspective in mind. That being considered, Frostbitten doing quite well for himself. In the picture-in-picture, we see Ertzu trying to chase down Laggy Rock. Laggy Rock has not been able to capitalize too much on any errors out of Nick. Nick is going to be a bit of a ways back behind Power 8, and Power 8 and Makakowski duke it out in the 7th, 8th position. Still a little bit of a gap between them as well. Really, the main event here at this match this evening is Sting versus G. The battle between first and second has cooled down a little bit for the time being. Rod weighing in and saying, people seem to be very consistent in this track. You're absolutely right, and that's more important than you might think. Something we talked about in the pre-show was just how much of an advantage time trialers can stand to gain at a track where consistency is a bit more of a given than a track like, say, Spa Vault 1 or Downtown 1. Exactly, Rod. The opposite of last week, but we see Keela and Famous has snuck up on me here. Now, correct me if I'm wrong, Pokers, but I think it's been Keela ahead of Famous for a long time at this point. Must have been a wreck, because we now see Famous just barely away from Keela.
I really don't remember that, but I think, yeah, Famous was ahead for the World Race since the lag boost incident.
Right. Yes. Oh my God. G-Force wrecking out in the meantime. The G-Force's race against Sting has evaporated as well. And yeah, Pokers, I think lag boost is a really good way to categorize that. And like I was saying with Kippy, that could be a misanalysis on my part as well, as far as saying as their positioning. But the fact of the matter is, Kilo Bars was able to cleanly recover. Famous was not. Kilo Bars had the breakaway, but he's been dragged right back into it against Famous, fighting it out for 5th place. Rod weighing in. Keela seems to have lost 30 meters. Yeah.
They might have crashed somewhere we didn't see.
Yeah, you know, again, one of those races, this isn't a race where everybody is wrecking out, but it's a race where everybody is so damn close that it's hard to even know who to watch. Speaking of not knowing who to watch, we've got this backfield race, Ama, Ertzu, and Shigeki X. Backfield races typically do not happen very much in endurance races, but it's certainly happening here. And they are continuing to duke it out. We've got Kilo versus Famous, which we'll be flipping back to in just a moment. But I wanted to shine a light on this three-way going on in the back lines for the moment. I'll let them finish off the shortcut as well as the drop-down turn. Ertzu going to be wrecking, implicating Shigeki X with it as well. And Ama with the clean breakaway moment. Kilobaris, Famous, and G-Force are very much squaring off here. Only 15-meter lead for G-Force out in 4th place. In the meantime, our 3rd, 2nd, and 1st place battle has cooled down a little bit. But when I say cool down, I mean 30 meters, 20 meters. This is absolutely doable no matter how you slice it. So on the picture-in-picture, yes, we've got that battle between G-Force, Keela, and Famous. A wreck out of Frostbitten randomly on the shortcut. Stingox is going to take back what is rightfully his, at least from his perspective, and move back into 2nd place. It really is, he is the undisputed defender of that 2nd place title. He's been plagued by it. It's been a gift and a curse at the same time, because it's such a competitive field such as this, RVEC. It is crazy to see someone able to find this much success, even though it's just 2nd places. But I know he wants more, and he might be getting his head about it a little bit as well. Speaking of getting in their head about it a little bit, Frostbitten seems to have wrecked in the shortcut. He has even fallen even further back in the 2nd place battle against Sting. Sting is 50 meters behind Kiki. Wow. tuning in Tequila, Famous, and G-Force is where we are turning. 4th, 5th, 6th. Keela P4, you're absolutely right. I mean, Keela Barris, we were talking about him being in 11th at the start of this race after just a few laps in. What a recovery from Keela. What a recovery from Famous as well. G-Force, unfortunately, continuing to fall back a little bit further in the standings. Gets a nice 180, a nice little barrel roll there. Continues on with his race as if nothing happened. A Tony Hawk maneuver if I've ever seen one. We're approaching 2/3 of this race being done. We're already past the halfway point, y'all. I hope you've enjoyed so far. The race is only going to continue to increase in intensity as these racers get more fatigued and also more nervous. An interesting combination that you find here at the endurance races, especially the endurance championship. Currently showing Laggy Rock cruising through. He's trying to find some positions here. And he does get one over Ama. Ama, one of our fastest racers pace-wise, but not able to lock in consistency here. And he will have another wreck, which Laggy Rock will absolutely capitalize on. Say thank you very much. Now he's going to be defending against Ama. In the meantime, 4th, 5th. And keep in mind, this isn't just a battle for 4th, 5th. Keela Barris versus Famous has been the name of the game in RVEC Season 5 ever since Keela Barris found his first place finish that he's ever found at an RVEC event. He's added 2 more first places to his name in RVEC 5 alone after that first win, putting him at 3, tied with Famous. Frostbitten Rex, another potential target for Keela and Famous to snap up. Famous actually almost trying to find the pass on Keela Barris. He goes on the inside, keeping it on the inside, being blocked by Keela. Wallbang's looking good enough. Headed into our shortcut. Frostbitten has been struggling at this shortcut. It has plagued him ever since his first mistake there. And he's going to almost wreck out again. He does manage to recover, but at what cost? He falls down into 5th place, has to cede 3rd place to Keela Barris, and Famous has passed him up as well. Famous trying to go on the outside angle there. Famous briefly overtaking Keela Barris on our radar view. Doesn't happen. Okay. I was worried about Keela Barris through there. Famous looking a lot more safe with this. Speaking of safety, down goes Famous. Gets passed up by G-Force as well. G-Force clawing his way back through after it looking like he was mentally checked out of it. He is back in this, 20 meters away. I know G-Force watches the VOD. Sorry to call you mentally checked out, bro. Much love. Good to see you bringing it back here. But we got Sting versus Kiki. Of course, exaggerations do happen in the commentary booth. But what isn't an exaggeration is how much heat has been shown for the podium and within the podium. Now, a lot of that heat has died down as far as 1st versus 2nd, 2nd versus 3rd. You may have forgot, but Kiki's sitting very comfortably in 1st place, 50 meters ahead of Sting. Sting chilling as well, 60 meters ahead of Keela. But Keela, Frost, G-Force, and Famous, there is so much cooking here. And if you can't stand the heat, get out of the kitchen. We'll see who voluntarily takes themselves out, who is taken out on a stretcher here at Hospital 1. Just a few laps remaining, less than 20 laps remaining. So right now we've got the kind of a sort of head-to-head cam. I'm loving it. We got Frostbitten out in 4th, I believe. Yes. G-Force and Famous hot on his tail in 5th, 6th. And Frost isn't too far away from Keela either. Hippie saying Kiki's consistency is scary though. Indeed. Indeed. It is very scary. Approaching the shortcut is our gang of 3. Yeah, I was worried about it. The wall bang from G-Force there, and he is not able to recover out of it. Hits the door as well. Drops 30 meters behind Famous at this point. Famous now going to be approaching Frost. A battle for the ages. Something that we haven't seen as much in RVEC 5. Happy to see it here, though. I will say, we've been talking about how scary Kiki's consistency is, but he's below 40 meters against Sting at this point. He's dropping some more. I'm going to go over to Sting versus Kiki. You can hear lap traffic on the horizon as Kiki bursts out of the shortcut and into the drop down turn, which he executes perfectly on. Okay, we are going to look away for now, but just a quick update on that first second place battle. It's still very much pressure being applied. Helabaris, lap traffic in front of him. Frostbitten right behind him. Alma and Laggy Rock fighting. Okay, we'll check out this shortcut. Looking decent from Keela. Look at how close Famous is to Frost. We'll keep that locked in. But I am going to go back a bit. We've got Laggy Rock versus Alma just now starting lap 58. And Alma trying to break away from Laggy Rock. Will he get roped back into it?
Frost crash into the shortcut. Tapping inside.
Good catch, good catch. Laggy Rock does slow down for Kiki there as he passes him up. And Famous does eventually have his breakaway. G-Force still going to be in the mix. Has lost a little bit against Frost and Famous. Is it Topka? Am I saying it good now? Let me know, Top. In the meantime, Sting continuing to approach Kiki. He has... Yeah, I'm flipping over here. Kiki versus Sting. And these distances are getting closed a bit. Famous, Frost, G-Force still neck and neck. But look at the distance. Sting is now sub 30. Will he make it to sub 0? Just got 11 laps left. 10 and a half. And he's got no pressure from Kilobaris. He could wreck and still recover and be barely ahead of Kila unless something catastrophic happens. The G-Force trying to catch on Frost a little bit. 15 meters behind him at this point. Oh my. By the way, Makakowski versus Powerade still going on. The race has been going on the entire time between the two of them. They got about 40 meters between each other. Just a quick update. Gotta stay focused on what's right in front of us here, which is a 20-meter battle between Sting and Kiki. Sting has managed to halve the distance between him and Kiki over these past couple of laps, and he is certainly building momentum. That being said, Kiki just set a new best lap for himself in this race. Kiki, nowhere to be found on the best lap list. So he's really been emphasizing consistency here. It's been working out so far, but will he be able to finish off the race like this? In the meantime, picture in picture, we've got, I believe, Amma versus Nick. I think that was maybe a wreck out of Nick. Laggy Rock not able to catch Amma, but Amma might be able to catch Nick. Stay tuned on that. I'm going to watch the shortcut drop down turn, and then we'll tune back into the battle for 4th place for a little bit longer. Air 2. We'll flip over to that one for just a moment. The head-to-head as they head through the gift shop. Gonna have to look away from this one though. We're gonna watch a shortcut. Oh my god, I can't miss this. I can't miss this. We've got Sting versus Kiki. We got lap traffic in the mix. This is dangerous. He was sub 10 meters there for a moment. He's trying to get around Amma. Amma's not letting him by. He continues to honk at him. And Amma is not letting Sting by for this first second place battle. Finally, gonna let him by. G-Force and Frost in the picture-in-picture. Time running out. Lap 67 of 72. Is that a wreck?
It is a wreck.
G-Force wrecking on the shortcut. Frostbitten solidifying his lead over him. G-Force has been fighting tooth and nail for these positions against Frost and Famous, but he has fallen out here with not too many laps remaining. Oh my. Drop down turn. Famous getting very close to Kilobaris in the meantime. Famous trying to sneak into a 3rd place finish. We've been talking about how Famous and Kilobaris, if you take away their lowest 3 races right now, they are even. So every single position mattering between these two drivers. Stingox with the clear pace advantage, all things equal. Kiki. Ooh, almost wrecking out through the shortcut. He's now only 5-6 meters behind. He's starting to fumble the bag here in the very final laps. Lap 69 of 72. They're about to head into lap 70 of 72. And Sting has been working so hard. He's trying to reverse the curse here. He locked in a 1st place on Spotvolt 1 last week. He's trying to find a 2nd one to his name. Kiki trying to find his 1st in the RVEC 5. Will he be able to lock it in? We've just got the very end of our race here to decide it. Kiki has been steadily losing momentum against Sting ever since he broke away from the pack of drivers like Famous, Frost, and G-Force. Oh my god, he's on the outside going for the wallbang. Sting is attacking the hell out of Kiki. They head through the gift shop one of their last times in there. Stingox has the fastest lap in our race. And he is proving it here. Kiki may be able to block, guys. He doesn't need to have pace headed into the shortcut. Sting slows a little bit. Kiki still holds on. Drop down turn. Sting on the inside. He passes up Kiki on lap 71 of 72. Kiki has been holding first place for 50 plus 60 plus laps. Stingox passes him in lap 71 of 72. They've just got the final lap here. I cannot look away from this. I know we've got Kilobaris versus Famous as well. That's on the picture-in-picture. They're headed into their final lap as well. 0 meters separating them. Kiki trying to bring it back here, trying to get what's rightfully his on the inside through the shortcut. And Kiki holds onto it 4 meters ahead of Sting. Drop down turn. Kiki grabs it back. Stingox wrecks. It's all Kiki's race to lose at this point. 15 meters. And he is going to take home first. Another second place in the books for Stingox. He's got to be happy with it, but you can't win the RVEC off of second places alone. Famous versus Keela. Famous will find third. Keela fourth. G-Force versus Frost as well. All of these races that we miss, I'm sure we covered in the picture-in-picture as well, but I'm sorry my commentary couldn't cover more of it. Such an intense race between so many drivers. Makakowski versus Powerade. It is going to be Makakowski winning that battle for 7th, 8th. Amma wrecking out. Air2 does as well. Laggy Rock takes the pass. He moves up 2 positions at the final turns, the drop down turn. Air2 wrecking, implicating Amma. Laggy Rock is in. He finds 9th. He finds 9th. 10th goes to Amma. 11th to Air2. Nick and Shigeki X duking it out for the last 2. What a race. Oh my god.
What happened before last laps? What the?
Whoa.
There was too much going on.
There was so much action. It wasn't just first, second, it was third, fourth, and even fifth, sixth as well. And winning their individual mini battles was Kiki taking the win over Sting. Famous taking the win over Kilobaris, G-Force taking the win over Frost. All of those very important battles. Not even talking about first and second, we've got Famous locking in, I believe, 2 points over Kilobaris. I think the gap between third and fourth is 2 points. It might be 3. But like we were saying while the race was going on and in the pre-show, these two drivers, if you take away their 3 worst races, they are neck and neck. So every single position matters so much, and it's going to be Famous winning that one by about 150 milliseconds. But the star of the show, Kiki, and it's hard to not say the star of the show was Stingox, because Stingox put in so much work. He was 40 meters back. And then all of a sudden he's 20, and then he's 10, and then he's 5, and then he has the pass, and he holds on to it for about a lap and a half. And into the shortcut, Kiki finds the inside angle, overtakes him in, I think it was eventually in the drop down turn, but regardless of where it happened, and then Sting wrecking out immediately after on the curb. And that's going to be Kiki taking first place. And it is his first place in the RVEC 5. Wow.
Huge congrats to Kiki for his first win in RVEC. Well deserved with what we saw. It was insane.
And Kiki is often one of those drivers who might not get podium every week, but he's always a pressure for the podium. And also, in the meantime, he nabs up so many best lap times. This time, he wasn't even really in the running for best lap time. You can see the top laps were Sting, Nick, Kilobaris, Famous, G-Force, and Powerade. Kiki's not even in that mix. He did it based off of how much damn consistency he had in this race. and blowing my mind. Wow. Well, I one other thing, we also had Makakowski taking that dub against Powerade, very hard fought. And lest we forget, Laggy Rock on the final turn, the final drop down turn of the race, capitalizing perfectly off of the wrecks from Ama and Ertzu and locking in 9th place. Wow, it looked like he had completely fallen out of the battle with Ama, and then Ertzu passed him as well, and we're like, damn, well, I guess Laggy Rock's out of this. Finds 2 more positions right there at the end. Absolutely ridiculous behavior. Now, I do have a spot of bad news, which is that I was so focused on the race that I forgot to press the highlight button at any point in the entire race. So I'm going to need a reminder from chat or from Pokers for our final 2 races, because we are trying to show highlights, like a highlight reel at the end. Like right now, ideally, I would be able to show you all the highlights of that race right away. But I just forgot to be pressing the key bind button, y'all. I'm a human, and I'm a particularly forgetful human as well at that. So I just completely forgot. I would love to be able to show y'all highlights for the future races. So please, if you're in chat,
you know what? I tried to clip the VOD, and maybe we got to download it and show it to people.
Cool. We'll try to get the logistics behind that. But in the meantime, we got Stingox saying, ouch, 2nd place curse, dead fish emoji. Yeah, man.
He got the world record for the best lap just today, so
wow,
kind of deserve at this point.
Wow, he's got to be pleased with that, but still, Sting taking back 1st place, but it proved to only be a momentary gain, which was taken back by Kiki. Welcome in Urak as well. Urak says, this ending made me remember the urban sprint ending in season 4. Oh yeah. Okay, so I am gonna try to do that. Pokers, if you could help me out with that. Am I just gonna go check out the clips?
Yeah, I'm gonna send you the link.
Okay, cool. Awesome. So hang tight for that, y'all. In the meantime, you can look at our total standings headed into Hospital 1. This does not include Hospital 1, but you can get an idea of how close this race is, how much those points mattered. And in fact, Stingox, he got 2nd place again, but he beat out Famous and Kilabaris in this race, both. And he is going to be locking in a lot of useful points for himself. Given how close he is, he's 7 points behind 1st, and he is 2 points behind 2nd. So, what an amazing race that was. I talked about Downtown 1. I said that was my favorite race in recent memory. And then Spa Vault 1, I said that one was now my favorite. This is in the contention, but it's for different reasons than Downtown 1 or Spa Vault 1. And there was so much fireworks, so many position changes, etc. But here in Hospital 1, the racers mostly stayed the same, but the important part is they were so damn close to each other the entire time. It gave us a lot of time to be able to look at the details of why the race was going as it did. And unfortunately, as with all races, we did miss some of the action here and there, but I think we did a great job of capturing just about as much as we possibly could. So hats off to you, Pokers. Thank you for joining me for the picture-in-picture as well.
I regret nothing seeing that. Not gonna lie.
Oh yeah,
was just beautiful ending from all of these races. There was some action going on backfield, but we have 2 highs, so
yeah. And if those drivers towards the front were a little bit further away from each other, that would have been some perfect times to be able to show that backfield chaos that was happening between 3+ racers. But I mean, Sting and Kiki were not budging at all. There was Frost, G-Force, Famous, and Kilabaris all fighting for one position there at one point. I mean, what a race. It's one of those things where, like, for example, you know, let's bring the Olympics into it. Maybe if you're watching as someone who doesn't know much about the Olympic sport, then those big moves, those big moments are going to be like huge fireworks, and it's going to be very exciting for you. But for the flip side is being able to look at those details and just being able to see those little details that people at the Olympics bring amongst themselves, but also just at a different level from what you would typically see with local action. It's just so it's rewarding for different reasons. So it's really cool to be able to see back to back. We saw the absolute unabashed chaos in Spa Vault 1, followed it up with just absolutely top tier, detail oriented performance in Hospital 1.
You're right, Kipe. We didn't mention that, but at the very beginning of the race, Kilobarus was 11th.
He was.
And he climbed up all the way into battling with Famous for 3 and 4th place. And he ended up 4th. So very nice from Kilobarus.
I also thought it was, while we talk backfield a little bit, we talked about this a little bit, but I thought Laggy Rock had an amazing performance as well. He said himself, Hospital 1 is not the track for me. You said it yourself, it's like a stock-like custom track, and the consistency levels were very high across the board. So the fact that Laggy Rock was able to beat out a pace-oriented driver like Ama, getting all those best lap times Ama does manage to do, and beating out him as well as Ertzu, it was really nice to see there at the end.
I sent you the link of the clips.
Thank you. Okay, let's get into that.
Also, I think Ertzu did catch the last lap 2 from Ama Ertzu, and it was Laggy Rock's perspective.
Yes.
That's fine.
Okay, so we are going to be showing these clips. I got them open. It's going to take me just a moment to get the capture correct, and then we will start showing some of these clips. Are these in order here?
Yeah.
Should I show them in order? Okay, cool. Okay, y'all, we're gonna head over to the clips. These are uploaded with the audio, so I'm just going to, rather than muting the audio and talking over them, I'll let them ride as they stand, and y'all enjoy. We've just got the very end of our race here to decide it. Kiki has been steadily losing momentum against Sting ever since he broke away from the pack of drivers like Famous, Frost, and G-Force. Oh my god, he's on the outside going for the wallbang. Sting is attacking the hell out of Kiki. They head through the gift shop, one of their last times in there. Stingox has the fastest lap in our race. and he is proving it here. Kiki may be able to block, guys. He doesn't need to have pace headed into the shortcut. Sting slows a little bit. Kiki still holds on. Drop down turn. Sting on the inside. He passes up Kiki on lap 71 of 72. Kiki has been holding first place for 50. Able to lock it in. We've just got the very... Okay, and then our next clip ready to go. 60 plus laps. Stingox passes him in lap 71 to 72. They've just got the final lap here. I cannot look away from this. I know we've got Kilobaris versus Famous as well. That's on the picture-in-picture. They're headed into their final lap as well. 0 meters separating them. Kiki trying to bring it back here, trying to get what's rightfully his on the inside through the shortcut, and Kiki holds onto it 4 meters ahead of Sting. Drop down turn. Kiki grabs it back. Stingox Rex. It's all Kiki's race to lose at this point. 15 meters, and he is going to take home first. Another second place in the books for Stingox. He's got to be happy with it, but you can't win the RVEC off of second places alone. Famous versus Keela. Famous will find third. Keela fourth. G-Force versus Frost as well. All of these races that we missed, I'm sure we covered in the picture-in-picture as well, but I'm sorry, my commentary. Plus 60 plus laps. And one more. So this is a streamable. So we got Ama, Ertzu, and Laggy Rock. Ama tips the doorway. Oh my goodness. Ertzu bounces off of him. Laggy Rock takes them both over. And Ama's fighting for it, but he just can't quite get that recovery in there. Ridiculous. Now, one thing that I did want to look at was our first clip. And I wanted to look from the picture-in-picture perspective. So that's what I'm going to pull up now. So we see Famous versus Kilobaris here. And I do believe this is the way the race ended, but look at how neck and neck they are in that bottom right-hand corner. They approach the shortcut. Famous trying to find the overtake. He does take it, but Kilobaris grabs it right back. They drop down for the turn. Famous just right back there up on him. We start our next lap. Famous on Keela's fender. Tries to find the overtake. Nice defense from Keela. Headed into the shortcut. Keela continuing to block. And following up with our next clip, because this is where you get to see them approach the finish line, which is ultimately covered by me once they're right up on it. So from the picture-in-picture, again, you see Kilobaris with the lead on Famous. They're about to start lap 72. There it is. The wall bang into the shortcut. Kiki finds the overtake in the meantime. And here it goes. Famous trying to go on the inside. Blasts him into the corner. Back and forth. They trade off positions. Kilobaris ends up. Oh my God. Look at the way that finished off. And we didn't even get... We were so focused on Kiki versus Sting. I think that deserves to be... let's show that one more time here. So here they are approaching the shortcut. Famous on the inside. Knocks Kilobaris. Kilobaris does not wreck. He's positioned earlier for the shortcut. Famous on the inside. Kilobaris takes it right back on the inside. The exact same thing we saw the lap before that. I mean, Kilobaris versus Famous. Kilobaris was not standing down at all. He said, you know what? I know you're the reigning champion. I know you're the guy. But whoa, Famous with the, I missed that. Yo, hold on. Wow, it took me what, 5 replays of this to see it? It is Famous winning this. Akila Barris defending the whole time so valiantly. And look, the slam out of on the inside, slams him into the wall, overtakes on the inside. Wow. What a move by Famous. What a move by Famous. We see him try the same maneuver right there. He gives Akila Barris a huge bump. Very aggressive driving. It doesn't work out. Akila Barris on the defense. And you think, Akila Barris has got it at this part. He's made it through the shortcut. He's made it through the drop down. No. Famous just slams him into the wall again, takes that inside for himself, and finishes it off. Unfortunately, we didn't get to see G and Frost. I wonder if their action was similar. We can at least look at the numbers here. We've got Frost and G-Force, 10 meters between them. What? Frost was leading. Frost was leading. If you look at the live standings, Frost was leading. Now we got G-Force with the overtake. I'm waiting. And G-Force beat Frost. I wish we could have seen that one too. You can only see via the live standings. But G-Force finding the overtake on Frostbitten as well. All of those happening at the same time. Kiki defending against Sting. And then Famous mixing it up against Keela. G doing the same against Frost. Wow. Upon closer analysis there, it really starts to reveal just how crazy that final lap was. Absolutely crazy stuff. So as the results have been posted. Apologies, guys. I see the qualification was also posted in here. I missed that. My bad, Nick. So we got okay. Okay, I'm gonna give you all a chance to look at the results. You can see the consistency. You can see the best lap, the average lap, etc. I'm gonna let y'all take a peek at that. I'm gonna get the overall standings updated as well in the meantime. Okay, so as we can see, Kiki taking the win, his first win at RVEC 5. Very narrow victory over Sting. Sting with the best lap. It will be a 21-pointer for him with second place and the best lap. You can see his best lap was over 100 milliseconds faster than Kiki. Famous somehow makes his way into third against Akila Barris. I mean, both of them were off to an absolutely wretched start. Both of them were in double digits as far as the positions go at some points. But they bring it all the way back to third, fourth. These guys are just making me go crazy. We got Akila Barris, we got G-Force versus Frost as well. G-Force taking that 5th place against Frost, locking it in We didn't see the details of how exactly that maneuver was made, but he certainly did it. And he's going to be taking 5th place on the back of that. Makakowski beating out Powerade in his. This was a game of duels here for the most part. We saw the group of 4 for a while, but it was mostly duels going out. Makakowski is the victor in his duel with Powerade. The rare non-duel was Laggy Rock, Ama, and Ertzu, which was also kind of a set of duels. We had Laggy Rock versus Ama dueling early on, Laggy Rock versus Ertzu dueling a little bit later, and eventually Laggy Rock ends up passing both of them at the same time to move into 9th place, sending Ama to 10th, Ertzu to 11th. We also had Shigeki X with the overtake on Nick by the time that race was done. .24% consistency out of Kiki. I mean, otherworldly here. The next closest one was 98.91%. So the 0.33%, that's just a ridiculous number to be seeing. Congratulations to Kiki for the win, for the consistency. Just barely able to lock it in there against Sting. And you know what, folks? We'll have to see how it continues to heat up, because we have got Santorini next week, same time, same place, and White Rose Chapel to finish us off on the 24th. But before I send you all away, we will look at the overall standings after our next week of play. I did not update it yet. One moment. We will be looking at our overall standings right here. Okay, I'll take it. And points-wise, we have a new first place on our hands. Y'all might remember me saying at the end of the race, you can't win off of second places alone. But Stingox has a challenge to make to me on that regard. Because with Kilobaris with another sub-3rd place, Famous just barely sneaking into 3rd, we could see those silvers really adding up for Sting. If you take away their lowest 1 race, because keep in mind, we'll be taking away the lowest 3, but this just ended week 8. So we're at the point where one of these are going to be confirmed taken away. And with that factored in, if you look at the blue instead of the green, the total instead of all tracks, you'll see that even though Famous is leading as far as all tracks go, Sting moves into the lead by 3 points. We have a new first place on our hands. He won. Okay, so I did overlook that he won first place on Spa Vault 1. I neglected to mention that. He wasn't able to chain it into 2 victories, but he got a second out of it. He's got to be happy with that. Famous occupying 2nd place for now. Kilobaris being sent to 3rd. They were neck and neck. They were completely even on the points totals. But Famous with a 3-point victory over Kilobaris, and we will see him with the 2nd place for now. Kiki moving up in the ranks, 112 points, now moving away from his battle for 5th, 6th, as well as 4th, and moving into the podium battle. He's definitely closing the gap there. We'll see if he can't set some forward momentum going. We've also got Nick and G-Force there in 5th, 6th, as well as Frostbitten. Then we got Makakowski, Powerade, Lampert, Ama, Laggy Rock, Ertzu, Ashen, One, V, Kippy, Urak, I'm going to say them all, Wurzel, Shigeki X, KLN, FLN, and Maddie07. That is going to end our broadcast, I do believe, unless you have anything that you would like to add, Pokers.
I think you said it all.
Okay, well, another exciting Saturday evening. It is going to wrap it up for me, and we will be back next week, same time, same place. I believe it's 19 UTC with...
Yes, 19 UTC.
Cool. And we are going to be taking it to Santorini. Make sure you're there. Santorini has been it's been compared to as the Monaco of Revolt. We'll see if that comes into play, how difficult it is going to be for racers to pass each other in the narrow areas that passing is feasible. We'll see how that plays out. Should be similar to Hospital 1 as far as being a little bit more of a detail-oriented race. And then we'll finish it off with White Rose Chapel. Well, I'm certainly at the end of my rope here. It's been an excellent cast. Thank you for joining me, Pokers, and thank you for joining me the rest of chat. I've got to close out the predictions, but that'll be about it. Laggy Rock does have a correction for me here. He says, on Monaco, cars don't fly to cut ramp. True. And with 4,300 points on Kiki got 42% of the channel points predictions. Sting getting a share of 30%. Frostbitten with 10, as well as Kilobaris, only 9% for Famous. We had 3 people put a combined 4,300 channel points, and they are certainly going to be reaping what they sowed here with those predictions on Kiki. Congratulations. All right, I'm gonna send y'all out. It is always such a pleasure to be able to cast Revolt, to be able to cast the RVEC especially. And once we start getting to the end, I do feel a tinge of bittersweetness because it's only going to be a few more weeks until it's over, y'all. So make sure you savor these last 2 weeks. Santorini, White Rose Chapel, coming at you on the 17th and the 24th. Saturday evening, European time. That's going to be it. Cheers, y'all.
Cheers.
Don't ever stop. Don't ever.